Hi, my name is Drew, and if we haven't met before, welcome to ReadyBudgetGo. If this isn't your first visit, welcome back. Either way, I'm glad you're here. It's Friday, so it's time for the weekly reel, where I share my real budget numbers, my real successes, and my real mistakes. This week, I'm just a little bit over budget again, but I also got some really good news that I can't wait to share with you. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go! First things first, let's do the cash dump. So if you are new to my channel or if you haven't seen my weekly budget summary before, what I do is each week I give myself $50 of spending money, and whatever I don't spend gets put into a pouch for use elsewhere. So currently I'm using this money to fund the Pirate Savings collab, which is in this binder, and those videos come out on Thursdays. This is the Treasure Island collab that's put on by Lisa at She Persisted Budgeting and Saving and Andra at the Traveling and Saving Chief. So some of it is going to that, and other money is kind of like my slush fund or IOU buster or whatever you want to call it for the Monday night Ready Budget game videos where I'm funding my sinking funds. So all that to say, let's take out the money that I didn't spend this week. I've got a little bit of change. And by little bit, I mean like 15 cents or something. Yeah, there's a nasty nickel in there, and then a few pennies, so not even 15 cents. Maybe like 10 or 11 cents. So that is all going in here, and I don't have a specific purpose for this. I'm not keeping track of it. It is just accumulating until I can't fit any more in here, and then I'll take it to Coinstar or something. But we're a fair ways away from that, and I usually don't have much in the way of coins each week anyway. And then in terms of cash, I have not much left. I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bucks out of the 50 that I gave myself, and that is significantly less than usual. And the reason is because I had an in-office day this week, and the prices on the at the lunch place that I usually go to just went up again. So lunch cost over $17 for lunch. And I mean, it's nothing special. It's chicken teriyaki, salad, and some rice. So the cost of food in this part of the country is just astronomical. But at any rate, I'm going to add this money into the other money that I have not spent for the month. I've got one more week left because the last Friday, there's one more Friday in January, and that's the 30th. So that there will be one more spending week. But so far, I have 20, 40, 60, 80, 95, 100, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, $115. So that will fund the Treasure Island collab and also my, what am I trying to say here? My Monday night sinking funds if I need a couple extra bucks. Okay, so that is that. Now I also need $50 for this next week, which should be all that's left in here. And it is 2 20s and a 10. So that will be my spending money for this week. Let's hope I don't have to spend it all, but it's looking like I might have another in-office day. We'll see. Okay, so that is it for the cash. Let me put all of this away real quick. One of these days I'm just going to throw it on the floor just to get it out of the way, but not today. Now let's get into the budget binder and let me show you what happened this week. So, if only I can get to there we go. Okay, monthly budget overview. So my cell phone reimbursement came in, that was $100, so that is recorded. Get this in the center of the screen here. And then for bills, visible, my cell phone payment, that came out, that's self-service, sorry, $35, and $97 for prescriptions. So pretty much on budget there, right on budget there. I have not yet totaled this up because there is one more day in January, and just in case there's an unexpected bill, I don't think there will be, hence unexpected, but I don't total that up until I'm really ready to close the month. And I also don't have my last paycheck either. That will be deposited tomorrow. So almost out of January, but I get paid on the 15th on the last day of the month. Spending for this week, $256.53 on a budget of $250. So as I say, I was just a little bit over again. and I'll explain in detail where all the money went here in just a bit. Stockpiles, this is for my savings. This is to replenish my emergency fund after I had an unexpected tax bill, so $252 this week. That is a combination of the Tuesday video, which is the Batman binder and the celebration savings, and my Wednesday video, which is the paint by number and my money relaunch. And then savings and extra debt, this is actually sinking funds. So I flip-flopped these two for February because I did them in the wrong order this time. But $100 went in this week. There was actually a couple dollars more, but because those come from cash that's already been accounted for, that $50 a week that I was talking about earlier, I don't put in when there's an overage. But I do record it in the envelope, the actual amount that's in the envelope. Okay, so again, because there's more days left in January, I'm not quite ready to close it out yet. And in fact, I will have an entire week of spending here. So let's move on to cash flow. Only transaction this week was that deposit for the cell phone reimbursement for $100. This is basically a check register, so everything that comes into or goes out of my checking account, I record here to make sure there's no unexpected transactions or unpleasant surprises. Expense tracker. So I'm glad I printed out a second sheet because I definitely needed it. So all food expenses this week except $2 for transportation, and there's more on the next page. That $2 transportation charge is because I forgot my wallet at home one day when I went to the post office, and I live at the top of a very steep hill, and I do not like climbing it on foot. It really does a number on my knees, so I usually take the bus back, even though it's not a long trip. And thankfully, I had my phone with me so I could purchase a single ride ticket on their app, but I didn't get the benefit of using my Orca card or my transit card. Everything else pretty standard. Groceries for $91, and then everything else was eating out or DoorDash. Oh, except for Thriftway here for $22. That was more groceries. And then McDonald's and DoorDash here later in the week. And then the $50 of weekly cash. So that brought us to the $256 and change that I mentioned in the budget overview. So one more week of expense tracking for January, and then I will be ready to close the month out. Let's talk about savings. Now, last week, I forgot to pop up a picture of my Wealthfront balances, so I will absolutely remember to do that this week. I apologize for that. I was in a hurry to get the video out and just forgot to go in and put in the screenshot. So I was able to fill in another segment in the emergency fund tracker, and so we're off to the races here. And that is because I crossed the threshold with the $252 that I deposited this week. Now, the exciting news that I wanted to share that I forgot to share earlier is that I got a bonus and a raise. And the raise was significant. So my net pay should increase about 10%, and the bonus should be around $1,500. And those will both deposit tomorrow, or today as you're watching this. So when those windfalls hit, I am going to refer to my goal sheet, which is here in the front. I don't talk about it every week because they're goals for the entire year. But because my emergency fund took a hit, this goal, which was number 2, is now number 1. So getting back to $15,000 is the most important thing to me right now. I was at $12,000, now I'm at $8,000 and change. So as quickly as possible, I want to get that back up to where it needs to be. So I'm more than halfway to the goal, and I am on my way filling this in. And when that bonus hits, I should be able to fill it into at least this line. Maybe even the one. My stretch goal is going to be to hit the line above. I don't know if I will. We'll see how much is available, but I will be making a deposit to my emergency fund on Friday, the day you're watching this. And so stay tuned for next week and see how far up the flask I'm able to get. Okay. One other thing when we're in the savings section. So the blip fund, not started yet. It's a goal, but it's not started. Same for the Roth IRA or the Sloth IRA. That is not started yet. I will fund that this year, but just not right now. I need to get the emergency fund done first. Okay. So here is the subscription tracker. And thank you to everyone who has subscribed. There's a lot of new people this week. And so welcome if you are new. I am so glad that you're here and part of the family. I have filled in 2 more bubbles since last week. I did deposit $50 on Wednesday into the the Big Move Fund, because as of Wednesday, that is what was filled in. And then Thursday, as I'm filming this, we crossed 860. So I filled in the bubble here, but I still need to square up on the amounts. So you'll be able to see on your screen what is in the emergency fund, or sorry, the Big Move Fund right now. I keep saying emergency fund because that is my top priority, but the money from the subscriber tracker and the subscriber count is going toward the Big Move. For those of you who are new, I am planning on moving to another state in 2026. The state is looking like it will be Ohio. The date is looking like April, I'm hoping. We'll see. I am making a trip out there next month to kind of scout places that I might want to live, so that when the time is ready to actually pull up stakes and go out there, I have an idea of where I'd want to set down again. So goal for this is $5,000. That is $5 per subscriber for the first 1,000 subscribers, and I am getting so close. And like I said last week, and I'll say it again this week, I am very mindful that these aren't just numbers, these aren't just dollars, these are people. So you know, your subscribing to my channel really does mean a lot, and for being part of this, like this is 860 some odd people. I mean, that is amazing. So that is all that I have to share for this week. So by next week, I will have this updated to 4,300 or beyond if we go beyond. And I will be back to talk about the month end with my bonus and my raise and all of the money going into the emergency fund, and total out all of January, close that out, and start on February. So thank you so much for watching. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please leave me a thumbs up, drop me a comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and until I see you in the next one, take care.